Away goes Cooper. Cooper with a great chance. Cooper must make it four. He does.
The Full-Time Review Show is brought to you and supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And also by Craig International, a truly global company with 10 offices strategically placed around the world. The future of global procurement is right here. These were the full-time scenes at Dens Park on Saturday as the fans saluted brave 11 souls who had to dig deep in the second half to ensure that we came away with the 3 points. My thanks to Mark Main, who sent me this video. So full-time score from Dens Park: Dundee 1, Aberdeen 2, Kevin Nisbet with the first, and Topi Keskinen with the second. 9,030 fans were there, of which 4,000 were Dons fans. So in terms of the table, it means this: it's 6 from 6. It's 12 from 12. We're level pegging at the top of the table. Still, the only difference is Celtic are ahead with a superior goal difference. It just gets better and better. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Monday night. This is the Full-Time Review Show after we beat Dundee 2-1 on Saturday. But oh my goodness, how nervous were you? Because I have to be honest, for a wee while, I was kind of biting the old nails. First half, 40 minutes, I thought we were fantastic. Absolutely top notch. But then after we gave away the penalty, and second half, I thought we kind of lost our way a little bit. But this is what I will say. The fact that we were able to really dig deep for the nearly the entire of the second half and keep them at bay without conceding, I think says so much about where we are at the moment. Because I'm sure you'll agree that only a few months ago, same scenario, with respect, with different coaches and different managers, I think we would have ended up either losing that game or drawing it at the very best. I spoke to a friend of mine today, and what I found interesting about what he said about the game and what he sort of observed about the game was that even when we had our backs to the walls for a while, we were not hoofing the ball up the park. We were still trying to play these short, intricate passes to bring players into play and to make something happen, and that the movement was always there. And he was absolutely right. Because, okay, there was a couple of times when we had to hoof the ball forward. Of course we did. We had to get ourselves out of trouble. But when an opportunity presented itself to play out from the back, to get us on the front foot, to start an attack, to be positive, there were plenty of signs of that. And again, this is something different to what we're watching under Jimmy Tillin than what we're watching to the previous management that's been in place over the past few years. So even though it was, it was a proper grind out result, I don't mind it so much, because I think to get through that type of 45 minutes against a Dundee side who were very, very well organised, which we knew was going to happen under the Dock, for me it just bodes well, because it's character building, it's team building. You look at those full-time scenes that I've just shown you. You look at how all the players embrace themselves. You look how Shinza pushed Topi forward to get the acclaim from the fans. All that kind of stuff, just for me, just bodes well for where we are at the moment. And it's hugely exciting. It continues just to get more and more exciting. 12 from 12. It's unbelievable. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? It's just absolutely incredible. So, you know the drill. Get in touch. Leave your comments under the main video, and I will do my best to read them out tonight. Plenty going on, as we always do. So I've left it open tonight just for you guys, because it's always busy on a Monday night when we do the review show. So I will do my very best to get all of your comments on tonight. So, we did the preview show, didn't we, on Friday night, and I kind of put out a bit of a, how can we put it, a controversial team lineup, let's put it that way. And then come 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, this is what happened. So Pape missed out, but by default, he's out injured. We don't know the extent of the injury yet. Hopefully, it's not too serious and it won't keep him out for long. Ante had to take his place on the bench for the skipper to come back. So there were basically 2 changes from the Spartans game. Vinny Bisserwin, who came on, made his 50th appearance for the club. Now, just very quickly, I just want to say, and I'm sure you'll echo these sentiments, that I was absolutely delighted to read today that Dundee defender Mo Silla was released from hospital. He's now at home recovering. There was a hell of a fright at half-time, and according to reports, he had what is in effect a huge allergic reaction. Hence why he was taken to hospital as quickly as he was. But thankfully, he's doing absolutely fine and he's at home. And I'm sure you'll all agree that we all wish him the very best going forward. I've got some other bits and pieces for you, which I'll get on with a little bit later. But let's get Jimmy's thoughts post-match. This is what he had to say post-match. So we needed every player on the pitch to help to defend. So you have to respect their effort to try and turn around the game. But also, I'm really proud of the players today and the fans. How we took on the challenge and stick together until the end and get the points. We don't talk about a winning run or an undefeated run inside the locker room and inside the club. We talk about the next game and the next training session. And that's all. That's what we're focusing on. And that's why we are happy today with the 3 points. But now we start to think about Hearts next week. We have to focus on our job and stick with that. I think it's brilliant. The fact that he keeps talking about, I'm guilty of saying this a few times on here, one game at a time. And to remain humble. And now that we've got the points, we've got the win, our attention's now turned to Hearts on Sunday. So he just continues to impress me more and more. Right, just let me get the other bits and pieces in that I want to show you tonight. So, I swear to God, my eyesight is getting worse and worse. Dearie me. I just can't see anything anymore. Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, bum. There's that. We will chuck in this as well. And then finally, we will put that in for a little bit later. And then we are good to go. Beautiful. Right, just before I get your comments on, you know that I like my history here about the football club. So a couple of things happening today. Jamie McGrath celebrates his 28th birthday today. Many happy returns, Jamie. And Jim Hermiston, what a legend. 77 today. Jim, who played a number of games for Aberdeen, who then emigrated to Australia and became a policeman over there, and also had a very successful coaching career in Australia as well. So many happy returns to Jim, an absolutely lovely bloke as well. And I noticed this today, and this is the kind of stuff that really interests me. His name, this chap goes by the name of Joseph Ellis Milne, and he was born on this day in 1868, and he was one of the club's original doctors. So he was one of the first ever doctors when the newly formed Aberdeen came together. And he tragically got killed in the First World War in February 1917. He was killed in action. And I read that today, and I just thought it was really interesting because he was born on this day in 1868. Right, that's the history part of the football club done for today. Let's get you guys on. Let's see how busy we are tonight. Okay. Boy, there's a lot of you on tonight. Wow. That's sensational. Thank you. Right, where's all the comments? There's all the comments. Okay, so let me just drag that bar back to the top. Bring that over there. Okay, so Gavin came on first of all and was asking about Mbappe. So not heard anything at all. Hopefully we'll get an update very soon. Richie Mickey McMillan says, good evening, Ali and fellow dandies. Isn't it just brilliant being an Aberdeen fan at the moment? Hope it keeps going. Come on, you Reds. Colin Gale says, in reply to Gavin's question, he was to be consulting a specialist today, but no info so far. I really hope it's not too seriously. Scott W says, a lovely win again, and to be honest, as soon as we took the lead, I was confident we'd win. Even though the second half, I honestly wasn't worried. For all their possession, they really didn't trouble. So while we're talking about that, so I'll just quickly chuck in the match stats for you so you can see it. So Dundee actually enjoyed 52.8% of possession to Aberdeen's 47.2%. They had 14 shots in total to our 8. But this is what's significant. We only had 2 shots on target, which of course were the 2 goals. They had 6. Duels won. I find this quite interesting. Sort of the battles all over the pitch. So they actually outnumbered us in terms of duels won. So 64 to our 51. They won 10 corners in the game to our 4. Right, let's get back to the comments. Guys is on wishing everyone a good evening. Fit like Aberdeen, he says. Scott W said, I'd also like to say it's great to hear Mo Silla is now out of hospital. Let's hope he makes a full and speedy recovery. Hear, hear. Wait. Hang on a second. Come away from there. Right. Sorry. Just playing up a little bit here. 1 second. Right, there we go. West Coast Donna says, all right, dandies, how good is it to be us right now? Paul Donaldson says, evening, dandies. At 2-0, we look to be fairly comfortable, but Dundee had a real go at us in the second half. It was a relief when the final whistle went. Mitov's saves have rescued the points again. 2 world-class saves in the game. Again, how often do we talk about it? This guy is winning us points. What a goalkeeper this guy is. Graham Gibbs says, it was a really bad goal for us to lose. Just a punt from the goalie. Up until then, we looked solid. Yeah, it was really frustrating. So let's pick up this point. So Paul Donaldson said, I see the Central Belt media have already completely written off Aberdeen's season. It's good that we now have a manager who doesn't play by their rules. Hopefully, we can prove them wrong. So I read an article this week from, I think, it was, I'm not going to say it because I'm not 100% sure it was them. But it was from one of the Glasgow-based online newspapers. Basically questioning Aberdeen's form up to this point and if we should all be getting excited about Jimmy Talleen and basically what's happening at the football club. Look, I get it why they do it. You know, to be honest with you, it doesn't overly bother me because for me it's part of the makeup. It's part of the makeup of the Scottish game that the West Coast media will and always have done, trying to unsettle us. And I know we're talking about it now, so you'll probably say I'm contradicting myself, but we shouldn't rise to it. All I'm doing is just bringing it up for discussion. I'm not rising to it. So I think these type of articles should actually be printed out on big pieces of paper and put up in the dressing room and use them as a means of inspiration for the boys to look at what's been written about them from Glasgow-based media companies who are questioning their form and questioning whether it will continue. Because for me, that would inspire me to keep going and to keep doing well. So, look, it's part of the makeup. It's something we have to accept. But all I would say is that Jimmy deserves, and the club and the players deserve, in my opinion, a little bit more respect. That's all I'm saying. Just show some class. Because it's 12 games unbeaten. We're on our way to equaling and potentially beating records. And I think that deserves respect. You may agree or disagree. Colin Gale says Celtic are going to be a real handful this year. However, I thought Rangers were lucky against Hibs. The game on the 30th of October will be very interesting. David Gold Rally Vids is on, wishing everyone a good evening. A lot of you are on talking about a certain guest appearance on Sportsy. I'm saying nothing. Fred McKenzie is on saying, hello Ali and all dandies, stand free. The Mad Ferret is on, wishing everyone a good evening, as is Neom709, as is Barry Cole. He says he managed to get a ticket about 12:30 on Saturday when he was in Dundee at 14:15 to meet Ken to collect the ticket. Magic atmosphere. Graham Clark says, good evening Ali and fellow dandies, hope everyone is well. Another fantastic win against a team, in my opinion, has been our toughest test yet. Only downside was Pape getting injured. We still don't know the extent of it, Graham. Angela is on. Hi Angela, how you doing? She says, good evening all. Great to see us getting another win. Long may it continue. Jerry Kennedy is on saying, fit like Ali, evening fellow dandies. The Music Cat says, 12 wins and not a penalty given to us yet, while 2 against us. Who will take one if we ever get one? Kevin Nisbet will take it. That's what I think. Interesting, Kaiser. He says, probably our worst performance of the season so far, but managed to get the job done. Okay, I'll slightly counter that. I'll say the second half performance was probably the worst performance of the season so far. But up until that point, I thought we were fantastic. Barry Cooler said, Dundee, Killie and St Mirren, who we have all beaten this season. Last season, we only took 3 points off them. Musical Box says, I thought we missed Papa Gay and Palaversa and that McGrath was a little bit out of sorts. I must admit, I didn't think Jamie had his best game, I've got to be honest. Alexander Wallace said, good evening all. We should have put the game to bed in the first half. Second half, resolute performance to hold on. Definitely improved our defensive cohesion and play from the back in adversity. Great stuff. Kaiser said, 3 times this season we've been 2 up and let the opposition back into the game. Still questions over Big Ruby for me. His positioning is woeful. Transmission GGB says, hi all, have the Dons been tested yet? Or are we joint top, behind, only on goal difference, beat half the league, 5 points ahead of the Rangers, because half the league doesn't count? Exactly. Graham Barron is here. How are we doing, Graham? He says, great result yet again. Brilliant resilience from the team as the second half looked worrying as Dundee grew in confidence. Loved Nisbet doing the Alan Shearer celebration. Adam Binney says, I thought Pete Ambrose was off the pace when he came on. Maybe it was time for Duke. Do you know, I did wonder that. I did actually wonder why Duke maybe didn't get a run out. Because when Peter came on, less said the better, I think. Gavin Mills says, great show, Ali. Thank you, mate. I don't want to be negative, but I'm really not impressed by Ambrose. I can't believe he came on instead of Sokla. Yeah, there was it's like what I said. I was surprised that Duke didn't come on, and I was very surprised that Esther didn't come on. But look, He's still new, he's still raw, I think, and we've got to give him a chance. Okay, he wasn't great when he came on. We all know there's no point sugarcoating it. He wasn't great, but we have to be patient. We have to stay patient with these type of guys. Look at Pappy. Yeah. Graham Clark says, not to mention, he's still a young player as well in a completely new league. It will take him a bit of time. John Bleasdale's on. Hi, John. How are you, fella? He says, there were two sides to our game on Saturday. First 40 minutes, we showed an intensity that most Premiership teams can't cope with, whilst the second, we showed great resilience to protect our lead. Jerry Kennedy came on. Good point, Jerry. He says that Sunday already is nearly sold out, and it will be sold out come Sunday. God, there's so many of you on tonight. Hang on, there's so many comments as well. Just need to find them all. Fred McKenzie, 50 appearances. What did I say? Did I say something ridiculous like 50 million or something? Or 500? I'm sure I probably did. 50 is quite right, Fred. No. Is that right? Seriously, Adam? He says, I watched the STV Sports News Roundup today, where they do the roundup of the Scottish games, and the Dundee v Aberdeen game was the only game that was not mentioned on the show. Seriously? Oh, jeez, oh. Paul Herd says, what a support on Saturday. Loud and proud. West Coast Dawn says, if we want more possession and shots at goal, Palaversa must start. Kaiser also agrees. Palaversa must start. Dave B says, great result and we keep on passing every test. That's all we can do. Scott W says, I couldn't care less what the media say about us. I just concentrate on us and not what's going on around us. Michael Taylor says, good evening everyone. Great to see the Dons winning again on Saturday. Mitov once again outstanding between the sticks. Some very important saves once again. Top keeper. Graham Gibb is asking, does the football and pressing we do cause us an issue in the last 10 to 15 minutes of a game? We seem to be often hanging on. I've got to be honest, I understand your point about hanging on. But even though I thought at times they were really pressuring us, I thought we were going to be okay. And it's like what Jimmy says, he still likes the fact that we're still trying to play football, even in the last 10 to 15 minutes, that everybody is putting the body on the lines for the cause. And I think we're seeing that at the moment. And I don't think we were hanging on too much in the last 10 to 15 minutes. But it was certainly, for me, it was the most nervous 45 minutes. Let's put it that way. John Helmsley makes a good point. He says, I thought the ref was excellent, by the way. Didn't buy a lot of the soft Dundee fouls. A lot of you are on sort of heaping praise on Dimitar Mitov at the moment. Martin Beehive says, on Sunday, we can only beat what's put in front of us and have done so in style, determination, passion, stand free. Cheers, Neil. Enjoy your meal tonight, fella. Glad you got your priorities right. So many of you already looking forward to Sunday. Ah, yeah. There's a point. There's a point. West Coast on. Great to see that Peter Levine remains. Just add new contracts for Jack M and Jamie M to show us how much players and coaches enjoy life with the Dons. Yeah. So Peter Levine obviously was granted permission to talk to St Johnstone. From what I can understand, he did have those talks with St Johnstone, but he decided that he wanted to stay with Aberdeen, which was absolutely fantastic news for us. And I'm personally, and I'm sure you'll echo these sentiments, that I think it's a fantastic piece of news for the football club. He will play a very pivotal role in us going forward. A few of you are a little bit concerned about, the way that we seem to have faded in the second half of some games. Don't worry about being late, folks. Better late than never if you're just coming on. John Grant says, what a time to be a dandy. I think we have to take the positives instead of looking for the negatives, i.e. Ambrose. We nearly hounded Morris and Pappy out, so let's give the guy a chance. Dave Cormack is on, not the Dave Cormack. Special shout out for Jack McKenzie. Does not get the recognition that he deserves. Our new Doug Rugby, he says. Transmission GGB says, I thought we missed Palaversa not starting. The Musical Cat says, STV did mention the Dons Dundee game. Or on the Aberdeen STV. Right, okay. Okay. Russell Fraser says, Toppy's goal was fortunate. Nisbet was screaming for it. As with when he played against England, maybe he needs to learn when to play a smart pass. Yeah, do you know, Russell, I can understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, he scored. And surely that's all that matters. Surely. I absolutely take your point that there was an option to make the pass. But he scored. And that's all that matters. If he didn't, there would be another conversation to be had. But I take your point. Musical Box makes a good point. He says, towards the end of the game, we had no recognised striker on the pitch. Yeah. Mark B. Harry's come on to quickly ask me a question. He says, if Duke gets game time and flourishes like old, who do we leave out for him? Very interesting, just a thought. Honestly, it's like what I said in the preview show. I must have tinkered with that predicted team lineup 3 or 4 times because I didn't know who to leave out. And at the moment, I didn't expect him to leave Palaversa out. So I must admit, I was surprised he left him out. I think it all depends on the opposition and who the manager decides will fit best to play a certain style against a certain opposition. And I think that's how, obviously, it'll all be done. But it's up to Duke at the end of the day. It is really up to Duke to how he comes back. Just while you're here, John Bleasdale, just very quickly, John sent me a number of videos over the weekend, which are absolutely fantastic. So thank you, John, for taking the time to do that for me, mate. In fact, a few of you sent me some videos, so thank you so much. It's brilliant to get them, and I can obviously. So just right. Just let me clear this up. So I can use footage if it's not within the 90 minutes. If there's no match footage, for example. So a couple of you sent me the celebrations after Toppy scored the goal. Unfortunately, through broadcasting rights, I can't show that because it's part of the 90 minutes. But like full-time scenes, it's a bit cloudy, but I can use it. And when you send me videos, if you can turn your camera on the side so the aspect ratio fills the box, that would also be a huge help for me as well. So thank you for taking the time to send me your videos. It really is appreciated. And to be honest with you, I'm delighted to get them because I just think it helps enhance the program as well. Okay. Right, just a couple of things, some housekeeping stuff just to finish off, because we've done 30 minutes. Don't forget the Aberdeen Masters is coming up very soon, the 14th of November, at the P&J Live. Legends from Celtic, Dundee United and Rangers will compete head-to-head from, I think it's from 6:30. I think the doors are 6 o'clock, I think it actually starts. Tickets are on sale at the moment, and that are, oh, look at that. Look at those legends. Aberdeen legends who will be at the P&J Live. And just a little bit of blowing smoke up the old backside. Absolutely thrilled and delighted to have been nominated for Best International Podcast on the Football Content Awards this year. The award ceremony takes place at White Hart Lane next month, and I'd be absolutely thrilled to get your vote. Of course I would. We've been shortlisted, and the way to do it is if you go to the Football Content Awards website, just scroll down the page and you see how to vote. Click on there, and there's a little pop-up box that says select a category. Click on there. Then you will see another one that says Best Podcast. You have to click on that, then go to International, and then you'll see my name. Pop yourself in there, vote now, and then it's done. Many of you have already voted for me, so thank you so much. But let's keep it going. Let's really keep it going. And I would also like to take just a moment, because the channel's building nicely. We're doing really well. You know, we're nearly up at 3,900 subscribers. And obviously the next step is to get to 4,000 subscribers. The viewing figures at the moment are absolutely sensational. But I'm becoming very conscious that I want to make more content. And the only way that I can do that is by turning this into what would be, in effect, my full-time job. And to be able to do that, I need to ask of the goodwill of people who would either consider signing up to the membership scheme here on ABTV, or even considering donating to the channel, or more importantly, consider sponsoring the channel. If you are interested in any of those, get in touch and I'd be delighted to jump on a Zoom call with you or something like that to discuss it. To join the membership, just go to the bottom of the chat page. You'll see a little $ in a blue box. Just click on that. You can become a member. You can donate a membership to somebody as well. And even if you just want to make a donation to the channel, you can do that as well. But a sponsorship, we have room for potentially 2 more sponsors to come on board. And I'd be absolutely thrilled if there's anybody out there that would consider it. So I hope you don't mind me saying that. It's just that we are doing so well and I just want it to continue. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been fantastic having so many of you on, as always. Now, there won't be a review show this weekend because I'm taking my little boys to Manchester for the weekend. So there won't be a review show, but we will do... Sorry, there won't be a preview show, but there will be a review show next Monday on the Hearts game. So no preview ahead of the Hearts, but there will be a review show. If you've enjoyed watching the show, one last thing to do. I'll see you again very soon. Stand free.